Hello, and welcome to Recapping with Delora
and Ashley.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Recapping Podcast.
Also, rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the things.
We want to hear your thoughts on the movies and shows we review.
Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts or our YouTube channel, and we will read them during the show.
Or reach out to us on social media. We love talking all things entertainment and pop culture with you.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you. What's good, Ashley?
Well, hello, my love. How are you on this fine Thursday?
I am doing well. The sun is out. It's spring.
Yeah.
Okay, Floridian. For us,
you see, I just said yeah.
In the Midwest, we are getting the sun. The grass is green. The trees are in bloom. It is spring. I saw a bunny the other day. I was like, it is spring.
That's
Finally.
Hilarious. Well, amen. Hallelujah. You know, when I'll know that we're permanently in continuous warmer weather here is when these little lizards make their grand reemergence and start terrorizing me again, which I hope I still got a couple more months. But yeah, it's beautiful to see the sun. It makes you feel better when you have warmer, longer, sunny days. It really does affect your mood.
Speaking of a hallelujah, how was your Easter/Resurrection Sunday?
You know, what's funny is I was just having a conversation that I feel like, I don't know if it's because I live here now, Easter has never been like a major holiday unless you're Christian, right? It's obviously Jesus has risen. And you know, people coming out to the church who don't even come to the church on a regular basis, and they Sunday finest and all those things.
And Mother's Day.
But for some reason, I feel like lately, it's like people don't want to work on Easter. Things get shut down. I remember one year I was flying on Easter. I couldn't get an Uber or a Lyft. I was like, what is going on? This ain't Christmas.
That's old school though, right?
And I feel like it's either regional or people just take more advantage of national holidays. I don't know what it is, but for me, it was, I don't have any like Easter traditions here or anything that I just do. So it's just like, okay, I'm living my regular day-to-day life and activities. What about you?
It was a beautiful day. We went to church. It was, I'm going to actually put this on the podcast. Here we go. So we're on our way to church and our daughter was like, church. We've never been to church before. I was like, girl, yes, we have. But I realized it has been a minute because she was so young when we would go, regularly.
I love kids.
They will
call you out.
I was like, you know about Jesus. Okay.
At least she did it in the privacy of the car instead of waiting until y'all got and sat down at church, and she looked around at y'all neighbors and was like, church? We don't do church.
But you know what was so sweet? What was so sweet was when we dropped her off at Children's Church, the lady at the door looked really familiar. And when we came to pick her up, she's like, she's gotten so big. And I was like, yes, you remember her when she was in the tots section. So, we're not, thank you, Jesus. That's all I gotta say.
As it is said, Jesus knows my heart. Okay. Exactly. No matter where it may reside. So
exactly. Amen to that. All right. So let's get into these quick headlines. Girl, I was literally doing my morning scrolls. And I see on my Instagram that Millie Bobby Brown is seemingly engaged to Jake Bon Jovi. I am looking at people.com. The Stranger Things star, 19 years old, and her actor boyfriend, 20 years old, announced seemingly, as they mentioned in this article, that they're engaged. She had the Taylor Swift lyrics for her caption from the song Lover, which I do adore the song. It said, I've loved you 3 summers now, honey. I want them all. And for his Instagram, he just simply has forever. Ashley, do you think 19 years old is a bit young to get engaged?
Um, yes, I think 19 is very young. Millie Bobby Brown is still a child in many ways in my eyes because I watched her grow up on screen. I
Yes.
understand she is of legal age and she can do as she pleases. But
Yes.
yes, 19 feels quite young, especially this day and age, especially in the career that she is in. You know what's messed up though? A thought that I had when I saw this was I bet Drake is somewhere quite upset.
Shut up. Shut up, Ashley. Do not. My gosh. Oh my
And
gosh.
that is sick. I know.
That is gross. Oh my gosh.
I
So
mean,
here's the deal. They are adorable. They are truly adorable. And I know they probably feel like this is forever. And I mean, I am just an outsider, obviously. I don't know these people from Adam. However, 19 and 20, they're not even 20. They can't even legally drink yet. I don't know what the rules are in Britain. Oh, but they also say these industry children grow up really fast, right? Hilary Duff got engaged and married and had a baby quite young. She's since moved on from that relationship. But again, I guess for an industry kid, is 19 that young?
yes, it's still young. You may be
I agree.
seasoned in certain ways, business wise and industry wise. That doesn't mean you're seasoned in the ways of life yet. You still have a lot of growth to do as just a human being, as an individual, let alone trying to do that with another damn near teenager in a
Yes.
union, a supposed lifelong union. But I mean, if she's happy, I'm happy for her. Moral of the story.
I think I hate to be that person, but I am curious on what type of career she's going to have because we are approaching the final season of Stranger Things. We love her in Enola Holmes. When people start having babies and getting married, and most of their career has been, playing a teenager, then what do you do? I mean, honestly, I think of the freaking Zendaya, and she's like 26 years old, but most of her roles have been. I still am interested to see what her career is going to be like when she's no longer playing a teenager, you know?
Yes. Yes. It's going to be amazing. I have no doubt. But yes, I can't wait to see Zendaya once she's able to be fully blown woman on these screens. But yeah, I mean, I'm not Millie's parent and I have a lot of other things to concern myself with. So God bless. Love can be very intense when you're young, especially.
Very, very, because, as a young person, it's the end of the world in everything you do,
Yeah.
literally.
Well, and on the flip side of that, not to be negative at all, if this they do go through this and get married, I mean, we just saw Tabitha Brown posting 20 years married with their husband, 25 years together. They dated off and on when they were young and through high school and all this and that. So I mean, some people figure it out and make it work.
And and then I will also say, I've known David since he was 20. Like we were in college together, and we're going to be celebrating 11 years married this month. So
There you go.
I
It
don't
can
know.
happen.
It
It can
can.
happen.
It can happen. All right. Well, congratulations to the beautiful young couple because they are so adorable together. I'm not going to lie. In more happy news, we have a bit of a baby boom. We'll first talk about Academy Award winner Hilary Swank gives birth to twins. So she's come up in conversation these last few months because it was a surprise announcement when she, you know, told the world she was having a baby, and everybody was under the impression that it was one, but it's what's better than one baby? Two. A loose reference to Jay-Z. Was better than one billionaire too. Anyway.
You got it.
The 48-year-old Oscar winner announced that it was hard, which I can only imagine, but she's super, super excited and, on top of the world. So, Ashley, how sweet is this?
Congratulations. I know it was shocking to her that this unfolded the way that it did. We just talked about Hilary Swank and that whole Oscar conversation last week when we talked about Reese.
Yes.
So I'm super happy for her. I always love to see women defying the odds in these sorts of ways.
Absolutely.
And being able to go ahead and knock out two.
Exactly.
We golden. We done, baby. We done.
Exactly. It wasn't easy. I'm like, sis, I can only imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Kudos to you.
I saw a story about like a 56-year-old woman getting pregnant recently, had no idea. Now that is a shocker, right? You like, is this menopause? What's happening?
Right. I mean, speaking of menopause, Drew Barrymore, Gayle King, they're having a major conversation on menopause, perimenopause, what it looks like, what it feels like, what to expect. So bravo to them, by the way, for having such an open conversation when it comes to that, because I actually was recently talking to my wax lady, shout out to Tasha, and we were just talking about how like we do live in an age where we're finally having open conversations about like our body, especially for women, our bodies, whether it's about sex or childbirthing or menopause, but still it's almost one of those things where it's like, unless you're going through it and you so happen to tell somebody, you really don't know what people are going through or what to expect or what symptoms may actually look like for you compared to what you might have read. So anyway, it's just a fascinating conversation. And to your point, it is something when women are able to beat the odds. So we also have a baby news for our favorite child star, one of our favorite child stars from The Cosby Show, Keisha Knight Pulliam. She welcomed a baby boy on the same weekend as her birthday.
Gotta love women who have the babies either on their birthday, day before, day after. People are like, oh, what a great gift. I'm thinking like to be in pain for their birthday. I have a friend who her and her mom have the exact same birthday. I'm like, I'm sure now she sees you as a gift, but at that time she was probably cursing you out.
Let's just say I didn't want to get married around my birthday because I wanted them to be separate events.
Let alone sharing it with your child.
No, I'm teasing. I don't know what it would be like to share a birthday with a child, but
well, fun once you get older because then y'all can do trips together and all that.
Exactly. But
before then, it's their world. It's not about you anymore. It's their world.
You just live in it.
Yep.
I'm looking at essence.com where they talked about, I love how they put their ages on front. The Cosby Show alum, 44-year-old, announced that her and her husband, Brad James, welcomed a baby boy. They first announced the pregnancy on Tamara Hall's show in December 2022. So just yay for baby news.
'Tis the season, it seems like.
Congrats,
Rudy.
It was so funny. I still have cable and A Different World was going off and The Cosby Show was coming on and they had their intro and Amara was like, is this a show? I'm like, are kids not familiar with like, the intros with the dancing and the names and things like that? Like it tickled me. Like, yes, it's the intro.
In this era, that is sad. Like we used to be able to talk about our favorite, Fresh Prince and a lot of shows are so memorable based on the jingle, the song, the all of that. And yeah, kids are not going to have that anymore because we're in the age of streaming and binging.
Yes.
So now when I watch stuff
skip.
like right now, Golden Girls playing in the background of me, I'm like, can I fast forward past this intro? Like, I don't need to hear this 50 million times.
No, really?
Even though I love the Golden Girls intro, but I don't want to hear it when I'm watching consecutive episodes back to back to back. So I get it. Like when I watched Girls and all Girls intro was just putting it up in the corner to start every episode, I was like, that's how it's going to be done moving forward. So,
all right, let's get into our hot topics today. So, one of our favorite topics, Chloe, her debut album, In Pieces, is out for the world to consume. Unfortunately, according to critics on social media, her LP sold only 10,000 units in the first week, debuting at number 119 on the Billboard's top 200 albums chart with mixed reviews. So let's first talk about general thoughts. I know, we had a side conversation, but tell me what you know about this situation, Ashley.
So I've definitely seen all the blame being put solely on the shoulders of Beyonce.
Yes.
And her lack of promotion, apparently, for Chloe's album that people feel would have helped. My thought is a unit sold statistic still that valuable? Because when's the last time you bought music? You know what I'm saying? Like, where's the streams? Where, you know what I mean? Like, when I heard units sold, who's going to still get an album that y'all are counting it as sold?
That, and I just find it hard to believe because in the age of streaming, I'm just curious on what's counted, right? Because I pre-saved the album when I knew it was coming out. So I imagine more than 10,000 people did that. I mean, I don't know. And yes, Beyonce is getting a lot of flack on these internets on not promoting, her talent. But what I will say is, Parkwood has been working overtime in terms of Chloe's exposure. She's in two major acting projects. So she's in Swarm. Check out that recap. Ashley did a wonderful job with that. And praise this on Peacock. And she's also performed on Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, Drew Barrymore, Tamron Hall. So she's the Today Show. She is getting A-list traction when it comes to the press circuit for this album. She even has a billboard on Times Square. Some people are also stating that by her not including her first 3 singles, that was a lost opportunity as well on the album. So I don't know. I feel like because she is obviously under Beyonce, everybody wants to compare her to Beyonce, right? But Destiny's Child sold millions before Beyonce went solo. Chloe and Halle was gaining momentum during the pandemic and, recognition. And in some cases, I would even say they separated a little bit too soon for me. I'm like, y'all were just peaking. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was ready for Chloe Halle domination. Okay. But overall, I did hear the album. The album is just okay. I do feel like there's better songs on the album than the singles that she's released. I will state that. My favorite songs on the album is I Don't Mind and Told Ya, featuring Missy Elliott, and In Pieces, because it is everything my, zodiac Cancer sign loves in terms of a moody song. But what I will say is this. What is she talking about? Like, what is this heartbreak? Not to say we need to know her business, but it just seems very moody, the whole album, and not what was presented to us when she first came out with Treat Me or Have Mercy.
Hmm. I have not listened to this album yet, and it's not that I won't. I think Chloe has a phenomenal voice. I think you made such a good point about Chloe and Halle, the momentum they had. I really loved their album. I think and hope that they still continue to make music together because I think they have a strong act together. But I'm at the point with music where I can list on one hand the number of artists that I rush to go listen to new albums for. And I have not been excited based on even any of the singles I've heard to move Chloe up as a solo artist on that list. Again, vocally, I think she's amazing. I'm going to give the album a listen for sure. But I'm still, like I said, confused about what this metric is that I'm seeing about units sold. Because even when I listen to it, I'm going to stream it on Tidal. So I don't think that counts as a unit sold, right? But I'm supporting and listening to the music. So I saw people too comparing it, saying, oh, Doja Cat sold, I guess at the time, very low units on her album and then went on to sell over 1 million. So this is not obviously indicative of the success she may be able to have.
Not at all.
Even beyond all of that, I think what has bothered me about this coverage is yet again, it feels like people want to tear Chloe down kind of for no reason. Like she's been talking when she's been promoting and talking about these projects, that she's battled depression. Like, why do we focus so much on negativity with people in the public eye? Like, enjoy the album. If you enjoy the album, tweet about that. Talk about your favorite song, whatever. Why are y'all talking about supposedly that her first attempt is just a failure? Like, I just don't understand that. So I haven't delved too deep into it because it kind of annoyed me once I started seeing those headlines. And I'm sure the album is very personal for her in terms of the content you were talking about, heartbreak, whatever it was. And Chloe's still so young and still so new in the music industry, even though it may seem like she's been around for a long time. So just give her a chance to develop, as an artist.
Exactly.
And y'all already know how I feel about Beyonce. So I'm gonna leave that there.
Well, Chloe, on the opening night of her tour in Chicago, she pretty much said to all of her critics, kiss her black booty.
Dropped a couple F-bombs in there too. I was like, I ain't know Chloe cussed like that. Yeah.
You know what? I give her grace because people don't know I curse too. But granted, I didn't start cursing until I got pregnant, and that's a whole nother conversation.
You don't really cuss like that, though. I'm not saying, I drop a little gem here or there. I'm talking about, like, based on what Chloe was saying, Chloe will get tearing to your ass a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, that little statement was like, F what those mother effers got the, she was going in a little bit. I still could never see you doing that, but okay.
Probably not, no. Like her one single, we're gonna pray about it. All right. So
and that was let me not kill this man type of energy.
Like what Chris is saying, like, you have a problem with my attitude. This is what grace looks like. You don't know about who the old me used to be.
Isn't it funny? I hope some of our listeners can relate to this. People meet you at different points in time in life or different seasons of life, and that's the only you they've ever known. And they really do think they know you so well.
Yeah.
And then they get around somebody who's known you for a longer period of time. They like, oh, let me tell you.
Yeah.
I always find that fascinating. Like, people will meet me, in a professional setting or a different time. They really feel like they really know you. And I'm like, you don't, though. Like, this version in this period of time that I'm giving to you. Don't think you know me, because we's a complicated human beings. We are. So I do think that's funny. But Chloe, you got it, girl.
She does. She has the talent. Okay, like, she has the artistry. I do feel like she does need to find herself in a way that's like in between ultra sexy and like watch me play on this piano. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not convinced of her ultra central, sensual side, I should say. Like, for example, nobody questioned Rihanna, like ever.
Rihanna is that rare breed of human being who just seems to have inhabited herself at a very young age. It takes most of us much longer to be
Much longer.
fully in our skin. And Rihanna has seemed to really embody that. Now, she does always have the quotes out there that's like, it's kind of not fake it till you make it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you wake up and say, I'm that girl. And if I'm not, I need to go back to sleep. And then
some of that could be mere stage presence. You know what I'm saying? Just sheer, she has that it factor. But yeah, I mean, again, Chloe is what, 23, 24?
Yeah, very young.
She's growing up at a different time than a lot of the artists that we loved and grew up with. True. They didn't have the pressures of social media. They didn't have all these additional voices going on and opinions going on for them. And, a lot of artists at the top of their career grow and change and morph.
Yeah.
So I hope she does figure it out. I'm rooting for her. Again, her voice is phenomenal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. On to our second hot topic. We haven't said much about this because it's Charles. Charles is going to be coronated on May 6th, which is the exact same day as Archie's birthday. I don't know if you know that or not.
I saw that in the headlines.
And pretty much the biggest question for the last couple of weeks has been, will Prince Harry and Meghan attend the coronation? And up until today, the answer has been, I don't know. Like, maybe not. Let us not forget the bestseller of all time that is called Spare. It has been released. Harry has not really seen his family since then. And again, they're really trying to make this a joyous occasion. But I was thinking about this the other day, Ashley. It's like Charles is trying to, literally walk in his mother's footsteps, but she spent 60 decades building, the level of quote unquote respect that I think he and Camilla are trying to get. How many months has it been? The last, 6 months?
He also has a way longer track record and history of shenanigans that he's working against than his mother.
Trash behavior. Very true. So we found out today that Harry will be attending the coronation for King Charles III and Queen Consort Camilla. I'm not dropping that consort. I don't care what nobody says. And Meghan is going to stay home with the children. Ashley, are you surprised by this decision? Should it have been all or nothing when it comes to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex?
I don't know, man. At the end of the day, that's that man's family. It's the only family he has. And given the documentary, given me listening to that whole damn book on audiobook in the span of like 2 days. Crazy. Yes. I'm firmly team Harry and Meghan. So whatever is in their best interest and in their family's best interest, do whatever you have to do. He only has one daddy. So I guess he said, listen, I'm going to come support you. Even though you've talked trash about my wife, I guess I'm going to come. But she's going to stay in the comfort of America. So whatever works for them works for me. I just don't want to hear about any BS from William.
Listen, and it's also worth noting that Harry has been in the UK for the trial he has against the press. So maybe it might just be a logistical situation that made this decision.
Could be. And he's still British, so he's probably like, it's the respectable thing to do.
Probably. So yeah, that's all I got to say. It should be interesting what this coronation ceremony is going to look like, because it'll be the first time in a very, 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 very long time. But
I will not be watching. I will not be watching this.
I will not be watching it live, but I will definitely I am interested. Okay, so the history geek in me is very intrigued by what goes on the throne, because apparently there's a stone that the throne sits on top of. I believe is it Scottish or Irish, or it's a stolen artifact. Along with everything else when it comes to this coronation and when it comes to the jewels and the gold or what have you.
I know sometimes y'all think it may to y'all sound like I'm being silent because y'all can't see my face, but I'm usually making a face in moments like these.
How would you describe your face now, Ashley?
I mean, this is one of the reasons why I don't get too into the royal family, into all of this stuff, because it's just the blood is dripping.
Girl, right? So basically what I'm trying to say is like this stone meant so much to like this whole coronation thing. And as you know, that part of the ceremony is blocked off from camera view. So that's the part where I'm just like intrigued. I'm not going to lie. But anyway, Ashley, what are we recapping next week?
Oh my gosh. I don't know the best way to intro this particular project. I feel like I need to put a disclaimer because this is the second project recently I'm picking that is a bit violent, is a bit untethered. And disclaimer, guys, I'm fine. I just think these projects are fascinating. So our next recap is a new one on Netflix, but it's out here. It's out, people talking about it, and that's Beef.
They are.
That is Beef, starring Ali Wong and Steven Yeun, which, by the way, is this just a Steven Yeun like love fest now? Because we just did Nope.
First of all, I've been obsessed with him, courtesy of Walking Dead, R.I.P. Glenn. After Glenn was gone, I was done with the show. So the fact that Steven has had this stellar career post The Walking Dead brings me so much joy.
Well, this is also our second A24 production because we did Everything Everywhere All at Once. Shout out.
Yes.
So I'm excited to talk about it because I think I texted you. I binged this show the day it came out in nearly one sitting. So I
literally laughed out loud when I saw that, though, by the way. I was like, oh my gosh.
I was glued. I was hooked. I was like, this is insanity, but it's so delicious. And also, I love Ali Wong. So I watch everything she's in, which I know you've been wanting to recap, always be my maybe as a throwback.
Is my show.
I don't know. We may still have to get to that one at some point too. But anyway, guys, that's what we're bringing. So stay tuned for that. Drop in next week. Hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. Let us know any thoughts that you have, and we'll see you next time. Be blessed.
Bye.